action-packed weekend. UFC 272, Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. Gonna be an absolute banger. A lot of great fights on the card. There's a lot of fights in general. I'm not going to go through all the prelims with you, not all the early prelims. Now, I will say, join the Discord. We do have free bets in there all day. A lot of other people cover the prelims. Let's jump right into it, though. I'm going to jump right into it so we don't waste any time. The first fight you're going to see on the main card is going to be Greg Hardy versus Spivak. Spivak is a minus 195 favorite to the plus 165 of Greg Hardy. Now, Greg Hardy, just to kind of give you a background, obviously most of you know he's a former NFL player and great athlete, right? Every person that he's fought so far in the UFC is no longer in the UFC. He does have knockout power. The dude can throw absolute blows, to be honest with you. But Spivak actually has some notable wins in his career, I feel like. He got knocked out by Aspinall, but Aspinall has knocked out like 6 or 7 of the last 8 dudes he's fought. So you can't discredit him for getting knocked out by Aspinall. And he had Vandera KO. Vandera just fought and I think lost to Arvelovsky. So he's had some just notable fights. I feel like Greg Hardy could get a knockout here. But I like the minus 195 for Spivak at 13-3. I think he's going to clean up house against Greg Hardy. If you're trying to have some fun to start your night, go ahead and throw some juice on a Greg Hardy knockout. I just don't see it. I think especially if it gets into a point where there's some cardio. I just don't know if Greg Hardy's actually got that in him. So these fights too, I mean, some of the odds are laid one way or the next, like this Kevin Holland versus Oliveira fight. Now, Alex Oliveira, he's lost his last 3 fights, and he's 34. He's the way that he fights, he's actually a striker, and Kevin Holland is known for being a kung fu fighter. So that's literally like what they claim is a striker and a kung fu fighter. I think here this is a bounce back situation for Kevin Holland. I mean, Kevin Holland is I think a minus 330 favorite. And it's one of those things where, let's see. Yeah, he's minus 330 from what I saw. And I mean, Oliveira's lost 7 of his last 9 fights. I mean, think about it, 9 fights, and he's lost 7 of them. You look at his last 5, yeah, he has 2 wins in there. However, the broad spectrum of things, he gets his ass whooped. It's a bounce-back situation for Kevin Holland. I think Kevin Holland is going to have the ability to get a knockout here, kind of reestablish his name, and beat somebody up. Part of me thinks the UFC and the odds makers, sometimes they want to bang hats and find out who's the best. At other times or other moments, it's not so much about banging hats, right? It's about just making sure that you got a guy who can build his resume up, and he's just a gap filler. And unfortunately, I kind of feel like Oliveira is a gap filler, and I think that they want to bounce Kevin Holland's name back up, give him some juice. If you want to just get a safe parlay and to start your night off, I don't mind you taking Greg Hardy to lose and Holland to win in a little mashup together for a parlay. But let's go ahead and let's move into the third match. And to be clear, like I said, I like Holland by TKO, or I like Holland just straight up, either way. Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell. Now, Bryce Mitchell, he's a very impressive fighter. He's only 27 and he's 14-1. His last 5 fights are in the UFC, or his last 4 fights are in the UFC, and the first of the 5th was Dana White Contender Series. All of them are wins by decision except for 1 submission. No huge names on the list of people he's beat. Nonetheless, they all are UFC fights, so he does have some tenure in there. He is the slight favorite here. I believe they've got him at like a minus 165 or 75, so I personally, though, love the value at the plus 140 with Edson Barboza. I mean, he's one of those guys that you can literally go look up his top 5 knockouts, and he knocks people out with kicks. I mean, he literally has one where he did a spinning back kick to the gut. I was watching one fight, and I think it's on there too, where he's just hitting the guy with his front leg. He beats that leg up so bad, the dude's just like, nah, I'm good. I'm done. He's very explosive. Yes, I know he's older. I know Bryce Mitchell's coming up. And I know that Mitchell, he's probably, never never had to try to take somebody to the ground who has the weapons that Barbosa has. I don't know. I obviously you could see Mitchell winning because he's the favorite of the fight, right? I just, for some reason, have something in my gut telling me Edson is going to come through and he's going to bang out. I mean, I think he's got like a 5-inch reach advantage. I don't care if he's old. I think he's here to let older. I'm going to call him old. He'll whoop my ass. But anyways, great fighter. Been a lot of fun to watch over the course of his career. And I like Barbosa to come out on top with value. Your co-main event for the night, we've got Renato Moicano, who actually just fought less than a month ago, versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Rafael Dos Anjos is an OG here on host. I may be butchering his name. Definitely know of him, though. He's 37 years old, but he's been around forever. I believe at one point, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to misspeak. Oh, no, he lost to Colby Covington. But he did win against Donald Cerrone and Pettis, so he is a belt defender. OG for sure. I know that all the UFC heads and podcasters are probably going to jump down my throat for that because he's actually a pretty recognizable person looking at his resume. But I don't think that it's going to be his night. I really don't. I watched Moicano fight against Alexander Hernandez about a month ago, and he impressed me. And I know they said he had some time off in between then, but he could strike from a distance. I liked that about him, and I think he got on his back and got a chokehold, or let's see if I can find out how he actually won that fight. Oh, it just says submission. Yeah, he submitted Alex Hernandez, but he's a little bit younger, 5 years younger. He's got him by a couple inches on the reach. He has a little bit more of a takedown advantage. But I don't know. I have a gut feeling too. Plus 150. I like Moicano. I think it's a good pick to take. Keep in mind, things can change, man. So, I would highly advise, make sure you get in our Discord. The link is available in this video, in the bio. The link is available in our Instagram in the bio at Honest Hustler, at Tyler Gill. You can find it in any one of those spots. But get in there because things may change. We do get the picks in there before things happen with updated informations or feelings. And also in these fights, man, watching these guys come out, sometimes you can just tell, like, if one person is ready versus the next. Like, is this person ready to go? I can tell by what I'm looking at here. I mean, versus this person who's not on a pick'em fight. That's what I do for prelims. If I'm not super educated, I get a vibe and I stab at the pick. I still let you know about it. But the real reason that we're all here is going to be the Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. I wanted to note too, I don't really care in the Moicano fight that it was a replacement fight, and I don't really care that he had short notice. I still just think he has more want and need to get it done. But in the main event, you've got Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Of their last 5 fights, 3 of Colby's last 5 were title fights, but so were Jorge. They both got their ass whooped by Kamaru Usman twice. Right now we've got Jorge Masvidal at minus 330 in this betting odds right now, and I just think that knockout from Usman just put his value down so far, and people aren't appreciating how fire of a striker Jorge Masvidal actually is. And if this was Colby Covington of 5 years ago and Jorge Masvidal of 5 years ago, I'd probably lean the Colby Covington direction because he was just such a badass. And I'm not saying he's gotten worse with age, and Masvidal is definitely older than Colby, but I think it's going to be a little bit more evened out. Now I like Colby Covington to win the fight. I really do. But I just don't think there's a pathway for either one of these guys. Like Colby wins or Jorge Masvidal wins. It's not like there's too much of a direction of where to go. Like this is kind of a filler main event. Like it's not like one of these guys is actually that the UFC or the odds makers or matchmakers or anything like that think that one of these guys is gonna go for a title or have a title shot or do something of that sort. To be realistic, I like Colby Covington to win, but I think there's a lot of value on Masvidal, and I do think that if he gets in there and he feels like he wants to prove a moment or prove something, then this is a good way to get back in it and do it. Because I'm saying too, if Jorge Masvidal loses this fight, I don't really know. I mean, really, if either one of them loses, I don't really know what happens next. The winner probably fights like Dustin Poirier or something like that, and then it's just like, it's like a pool of people who know that they can't actually achieve it, And in this day and age, there's new fighters coming out of left and right field that are more dominant than the last ones. It's been a while since we've watched someone just completely defend a throne. Shout out Francis Ngannou for, in my mind, kind of being the one person in the past couple of years who's said screw it and stepped to the plate every single time and just kind of handled his business. You got a lot of other guys coming up fighting consistently, but I don't know about belt defenses in that sense. But like I said, follow the Discord. Just to recap my picks, I got Greg Hardy. I think he's going to lose the first fight of the main card. He is fighting against Spivak. Spivak, like I said, has more experience. It's a minus 195. I would parlay that with Kevin Holland to win. And then I'd probably move on to the next fight, take my winnings and put some of them, maybe half of it, on Barbosa money line. You come out nice on that, and then go ahead and go Moicano. If you lost, go ahead and get some money back on Moicano. I really like Barbosa or Moicano to win. So you play both of those, you should recoup money from a loss if one of them doesn't hit. I really do like both of those fighters to come out on top. And in the Masvidal Covington match, I think that there's juice on Masvidal if you decide you want to go that route, but I would probably add Covington in just on a straight play. Don't know, it probably goes 3 rounds or a knockout or what happens, but I'd add him in as the tail end of a parlay as well. All right, thanks for tapping in. Have a good day.